just for myself personally. Um, in the past, I've done like, okay, 0.10s, right? For I mean, sorry, not 0.10s, 10 cents lots or 50 cent lot. Because once you get into the dollar range, right, you start losing bigger percentages. And even like, let's say I have $1,000 account and I lose $50, that's 5% of my account that I lost. Now, if I lose that again, that's another 5%. So then basically, I just lost 10%, which would leave me at $100 loss, which is not terrible, but you have to factor in your losses from your wins, your drawdown. There's a whole psychological plan that you have to set up. So I'm going to teach you guys how to set up that plan, how I set up my plan personally. I'm going to teach you how I set up my plan personally. And if that's something that you want to copy, then great, you can copy it. If it's something that you don't want to copy and you have your own plan, then that's also fine too, because people find value in a bunch of different things. Okay? And so we'll just leave it at that. Okay? So we're going to start in about 2 more minutes. We're going to start in 2 more minutes, and then we're going to get everything on the go and get ready to get started. Okay, guys? So make sure you have up your gold chart, XAUUSD. That's the pair that we're going to be trading. More than likely, there will be other pairs that we add in there, but I want everyone to focus on one pair that they want to be good at. So this is one pair that I personally am focused on, and one pair that I love to trade. So that's what I would personally do. Okay. So we're going to start in 1 minute. Yes, Kevin, compliance will deal with that.
Guys, there's a Q&A. There's a Q&A. So just put your questions in the chat. It doesn't matter if if it was answered by Dimitri. I mean, if Dimitri answers it, he won't go over it again, okay? Unless you have questions about it. But if someone else asks the question, it's okay. We'll just move on to the next. But put it in the Q&A. You'll see something. I think if you're on the iPhone, you'll see Q&A at the top of the screen.
Yeah, I'm about to pull up my.
If you're on the desktop, it's on the right hand. It's at the bottom right hand side. And for those of you who are new, you get to log on to the course free of charge every 2 weeks for a limited time. So next class is May 10 at 12:30 p.m. So we do a day class and a night class. 1 week is the day, and then the bi-weekly, then you'll have the night. So the next one is going to be our day course on May 10th, and I think the one after that is going to be somewhere around the 20th. Be updated on the links on the site after each course. So after this course, which will end Monday, because we don't have classes on Friday when we do the night, we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Monday would be the last day. So Tuesday of next week, we'll update the link. So you just need to log into your account using your email address and your password that you selected. Just click on the 5-day course and you'll see the links right there in the schedule and registration. Okay, so the new links will be up on Tuesday of next week. And if you have any questions, email gmgcompliance@gmail.com.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up my screen really quickly.
And if you're on the website, guys, gmgcompliance@gmail.com. it's on the website. We have frequently asked questions. A lot of people don't even look in there, but some of your questions could be answered. If they're not answered on the website, then just contact compliance. Okay? And we're gonna give you some extra time tonight, guys.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull this up on my other screen. Yep, guys. All right. So we're about to start. Things are about to get super awesome in a bit. Let me just use this really quickly. Sorry. Let's see. So everyone has their screen up, correct? All right, awesome, guys. Make sure you guys let me disconnect this audio.
Vai. Vai. Vai, pai.
Right? Neo is the one. You guys are the one. And the only way you could be the one is to know that you already are. Right? And so I'm gonna give you a great setup, right? You can trade on any time. You can trade on the 5 minute, you can trade on the 15 minute, you could trade on the hour. I personally love to trade on the daily and the weekly. I personally love to look for positions that are more long term, right? I like to find positions that are long term that I know I'll be able to get into, right? I know that these positions I could stay in for 100, 200, 300 pips. How many people would say that they're long-term swing traders as they trade for the week? Or how many people would say they use, what time frame do you guys use? What time frame does everybody? All my new people, what time frame do you use?
Also, guys, for those of you who are new, you cannot register under your first name and last initial. You have to register under your full name. Okay? So I'm going to contact one of you in the chat and just ask you your full name.
Okay, some people said 30 minutes. The hour, but would love to develop a mindset patiently enough for the weekly. Julian, you said you use 4-hour daily weekly. Okay. 5 30-minute day or scalp. What is the longest you guys hold trades for? That's what I'm trying to ask. Do you think you can hold a trade for the month? Do you think you can hold a trade? I hear somebody's background. Compliance, can you move that? You guys think that you could hold a trade for a few days? Well, I'm going to teach you that. Okay. 2 to 3 days, 1 to 4 for swings, right? So on the daily, on the hour is where we find our best entries, right? Hour to 2 hour. I would highly recommend, by the way, that you update to the 12-hour, you update to these time frames here so you can use them more to your advantage. Okay. Boom. I would highly recommend that you use these weekly time frames because when you're holding a trade for a week, right? It's the thought of, oh my God, what if this trade doesn't go that way? What if it doesn't play out the way I thought it did? And you can't think that. You have to train your mind to start with the first P. Our first P is patience, right? And your patience will really depend on your F, which is your frugality, right? You'll be able to be more patient if you're more frugal. Because if you're using a low lot size, right? If you're using really low risk management, right? Then you'll be able to endure the patience. The patience will be easier for you to endure. Now, patience, frugality, and sacrifice, right? The sacrifice all comes down to taking the setup in the first place. But you'll start regretting sacrificing if you don't have the F, which is the frugality. Okay? All the letters are equally important, but the F holds a strong part of you staying within the game. Okay? So the S, which is the sacrifice. Okay? Now, everyone, make sure you write down those 3 P's: patience, frugality, and sacrifice. Great. So before a pilot takes off, they have an item that they go through. They have a checklist that they go through item by item. You can't jump into a plane and automatically go, hey, you know, I'm taking off into XYZ. No one's ever done that. Anybody ever step foot on a plane and then just fly off automatically? No. You got to get the plane going. Okay. Now, is everyone clear on that? Press 1, 10-4. Okay, somebody said 10. Okay. Now, the same way the plane takes off and they have a checklist is the same way we need to have a checklist. So before we start trading, we want to check, okay, is the market in trending? Is it consolidating? What is the market doing? Right? Is it in a retracement mode? Is it in a bullish trend? Is it a bearish trend? Is there news? We have to have all these checklists before we jump into a $7.6 trillion industry moving billions of dollars, trillions of dollars across the chart. We got to be careful for that. Okay, so what I like to do is I have a strategy called body wick volume, right? And I like to look for the exhaustion of candlesticks, okay, of where price may be exhausted in all areas. And I look at those time frames mainly on the daily, the 4-hour, and the weekly, because it's easier to do. It's easier to gauge. All right. $628, 621 points. So when I see something like this, right, a trade like this is called the body wick volume. So when I see a trade like this, where price is, and you want to zoom into price, you want to zoom into what you're looking at. When I see a trade like this, I say, you know what? Let me measure this candlestick. So I take out the pip measurer and I see this is 617 pips. Out of that 617 pips, how much of it went back? 539. Is that less than half or more than half? That's more than half. So I know, because this candlestick is more than half, that I could enter in on this trade, right? But I'm not gonna just enter right in on the buy, right? I have to find a good entry point. And so here, we see price go down and then it wicks back up, okay? On the weekly, this is how easy it is for you to enter on a trade like this. You could literally enter right here on the weekly. I'm sorry, oops. This is where the resistance really is. You could enter right here on the weekly and catch a 228 pip swing off the weekly chart, just from seeing what the weekly is gonna do. Why did I enter here? What made me enter here and take profit at such a small level? I didn't decide to take profit here, right? Because this is 50% of the wick. So anything could happen during this time, right? Price could come down at 1818, 1804, 1809. And that was kind of my mistake before, but you know, it happens to the best of us. So this is where I would enter, 1760. Because at 1760, well, that's where I entered before, but 257 points. Easy. Right off the gate. The reason why I did that is because this is a consolidation form, and then price broke the top of here. Okay. Let me see if we can find something else. This is what, another weekly. Oh, this is beautiful. Weekly setup right here. This is another weekly setup. Now, notice this isn't really body wick volume, but it is a form of consolidation. Okay. And so here I would say to be very careful, because when you're in a consolidation, you don't want to get caught up in these wicks right here. Okay, 1346. You don't want to get caught up in that. Okay. Now, 1311. This is a place where I would enter. I don't have to go for a crazy amount of points because it's the weekly. So I could just you could literally get in on a weekly trend, right? And this would be my buy stop, my entry, or even manual entry. I'd enter here and collect profits somewhere here. Somebody's like, oh, that doesn't look like a lot. Really? That's another 200 points. So you could literally wait for these setups and then enter. Done. Look, and then price just kept going up. So after you were here, right? Let's say you took profit here, and you're like, man, I took profit here, right? 257. And then you're like, you know what? I want to put my stop loss at break even. Let's just say you put your stop loss break even, and we're playing devil's advocate, it didn't hit. The trade continues to rocket up, right? The trade continues to go up from your initial entry, which is here. And that's over 1,000 points, 1,200 points that you caught. 1,200, okay? And price keeps going. So you can trail the weekly all day long, because look, this is the first resistance, broken, take profit. The second resistance, broken, entry, right? Like, let's just say this is the entry, okay? To be fair, let's just say right here, right? The break of these highs. So you can do the break of the last high, take profit. You could even do it here if you want. Break of the last high, enter, 500 points. Break of the last high, and just as off the weekly, 600 points, 1,200 points altogether. And that's not even body wick volume. Okay. Everybody see that? I like to enter in on consolidated forms. I'm going to get back to the body wick volume, but I like to enter in on a consolidation on the weekly because I find out where the weekly trend is going for the breakout. I don't care what the market is going to do for the next hour or the next 2 hours. I care about what the market is going to do for the week. So that's why I look and see. And imagine holding this trade this long for 2,000 plus pips. Okay? Now, you could get body wick volume off the weekly too as well. It's all about finding a good setup. Here's a good setup. Body wick volume. I mean, this one's not the greatest, but this is what? 9 something pips, right? Price wicks back, half of that. Okay, that's less than half or more than half? It's more than half. So I measure the entire body, then I measure how much price wicks back, and this lets me know there's buyers at this zone. Okay, these wicks, all these exhaustions, all they do is let me know there's buy limits here, because sellers tried to push down, but buyers push them back up. That's essentially what the candlestick is saying. And so Boom. Am I going to enter right away? No. I'm going to enter a little bit higher. I'm going to enter right around here. Okay, I'm going to enter here, and then I'm going to take profit right here, because you don't want to get too greedy on the weekly, right? Boom. I enter here all in the weekly. 852 points. Done. Done. Does everybody see that? 852. Done.
Hey, Dimitri, were you able to get Carol's question?
Yeah, I'm going to answer that in a minute. Check out this. 855 points. Out of the 855, how many wicks back? 533? So that's more than half. Are we going to enter right away? No. Where are we going to enter? We're going to enter in at the break of this candle. And technically we could take profit around here because price came back up to this level, but we don't need to go that far. Okay, we just need to find a good breakout. 300 points, done. Okay, everyone see that? This was what made us enter. The exhaustion of price. This let us know that buyers' steam ran out, and then we took advantage on the weekly. So only stick to the weekly and daily time frames as much as you can. Okay, everyone clear on that? Press 1 if you're clear.
Hey, Dimitri, can you answer some of the questions?
Yes. Where in settings can I add those bars on the right? What bars? Can you explain what you mean by resistance? Well, resistance is your ceiling and support is your floor. So this is the resistance, this is the support. And what I mean by 50% is, let's say I were to sell into this area, then I would sell and take profit around this area, 50%. Does that make sense? Everybody clear on that? I was referring to the yellow blue volume you had open on your chart. Oh, well, yeah, we'll talk about that later in the next class. PFS, patience, frugality, and sacrifice. No problem. Okay. So try to find a weekly setup. Okay, weekly to daily setups. Long term wins in this game. Short term dies out. I would like to find like little consolidation patterns also, too. Like if you see a consolidation pattern on the daily or the weekly, look at that. Even if you jump in halfway, boom. 100 pips, done. Done. Either side, doesn't matter. If it would have went to this side, it could have went this way. It would have been 100 pips. It could have went to this side, it would have been 100 pips. Okay, and this is just starting off to give you a clear example of how, charts are marked up.
Güey, la cagaron, güey, son de la misma pinche edad. Pone que hay una diferencia de unos 5 años. Pinche güey anda como 60 años, 62.
Okay.
No me acuerdo, güey. Y llevas eso y...
Everybody clear on that? That's all depends on you what size account that you want to use. I can't tell you, but if I were using a small account and I saw, and first of all, I love to catch consolidation trades, right? Especially if you see a setup where price hasn't been in a long time, that's called price discovery, right? So let's say this was the resistance to this setup here, and we see prices getting ready to break this previous resistance, okay? Then we know that this is a new price discovery, so we could just literally enter off of this trade right here. This consolidation is happening, done. Easy. Look at that. Easy. This is what shot price up to 2,000, by the way. You're not going to always get trades like that, but sometimes you will. Look. Consolidation. Anytime price is in consolidation, people look at it as a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Body wick volume and consolidation are the best things that you could find, because when you find body wick volume, you're finding where limit orders are at. When you find consolidation, you're finding out who's in control of price. Okay? And you have to know how to train your mindset to be in a trade and be out of a trade, right? Like you don't have to stay in a trade forever, and you don't have to stay in a trade for too short. You have to know when's the right time to get out. So let's say we enter here, right? And then we see price wick back up a little bit. Okay. We could still stay in the trade, but if we see price come up to this level, right? Up to these territories right here, then we're like, okay, you know what? We need to slow down because this is crossing the line. So, so if this was my entry, if this was the setup, I would wait for price to at least wick back to here. But if price stays below this level, that's the rule system that you set up. If price stays below this level, I'm going to keep selling. And what happened? Price stayed, it wicked back up. Price kept going, right? And this is on the daily outbreak. Easy. Easy pips. Now let's look at current market right now. Current market is doing the same thing. This is the highest point. And it seems so simple. It's like, why isn't everyone doing this? I have no idea. This is the highest point. This is the lowest point. Well, actually, this is the lowest point. So you always want to find, I like to find a range of the market. Okay. And if there's if this is consolidation, but if there's a body wick volume, now let's say this was a body wick volume trade, then I would look for a different setup. So something like this. This is a body wick volume trade because look at this. This was 411 pips. Out of that 411 pips, 234 wick back. So that means that price is going to go down for a sell. And it did, because when it happened, it shot down 200 points. Came back up, but it also dropped down for 200 points. Okay, and then it kept dropping. So that's for body wick volume. That's this approach that you take on body wick volume. Consolidation breakout of where accumulation orders happen, okay, you just take either side, the buy side or the sell side, and then you look for prior support or prior resistance. So if I was going to take this breakout, I would say, okay, I'm selling until this level, or I'm buying until, well, I wouldn't even really buy here because it looks so close to comfort, but I mean, that's fine. You could also buy here and catch 157 pips. But here, this sell would be more high probability. And you have to start training yourself to take setups that are high probability instead of forcing yourself to take trades that you don't feel confident on. If you don't feel 1,000% confident on a trade, don't take it. Don't take trades just in hope for the best. Okay? Everybody understand? Press 1, all my new people. Do you guys understand?
Tom Renzi said, how many candles do you use for it to be a range, 5 plus?
Could be 5 plus, depends on the range. I just keep a very strong eye out for that specific range. Now look at this.
Oh, Kenneth Stevens, he's new. He said I was referring to the yellow-blue volume bar.
We went over that already.
All right.
249. 249 pips. It wicked back 132. There's no resistance
Entonces en la cabeza, ¿verdad? Entonces peor que
till
yo
this
y
next
yo.
level.
No fue el día que le mandamos
Okay.
el dinero a Barú.
Even if you could stretch it out, like when you draw a trend line, even if you could stretch it out as far as you can, do that.
No, pero tu mamá de plano no está nada. Pero no mames, pero ese día. Y ahorita dije, pero ¿cuándo, hijo de su puta madre? Pues ese día que ves que te pagué que te di yo 60 pesos y lo de él. ¿Te acuerdas o no? No, háganlo bien, Reina.
Oops, why did I go there?
No, dices que no está bien eso, pero
Kinda
no te
changed
peor
the-
todavía. Venga, hey, espalda.
Anyway, here it is. Boom. So we see that. We take the top of that, we take the break of this candle, and look where that leads us. 170 pips, done. 72 pips. Trading is supposed to be simple. Everyone who like marks everything up, makes everything all complicated, it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be very simple. Look at this. Very simple. This is the entire candle. Great, it's 100 points. I usually like to find anywhere over 100. It wicked back 92, so that means sellers got pushed back. Buy limits are coming in. I'm gonna check the other candlestick. 100 pips, wicked back 57, that's more than half. Okay, great, price is going up. But does that mean that I'm gonna buy right here? No, I'm gonna buy at the best entry, which is right here. I mean, basically it's right here. So I'm gonna buy, price comes up. My take profit is here instantaneously. It's on the daily. So you see what I'm doing? I'm just literally buying or selling the range of the dailies or the weeklies. And then you could trill your profit into stop loss and profit, right? Whatever, or stop loss break even, and then keep the trade going. That means you would have entered in here and the trade can keep going to 400 plus pips. Well, how do you know that, Dimitri? Easy. You see that, right? This is the weekly. This is from the daily, from that day, and that was our entry. And here we are, 300 plus pips. 300 plus pips. Even if we were here and came here, we're still 100, 200 pips. Okay? 500 points on this one trade. Okay. And look, there's massive amounts of volume here. This means that there was lots of volume in this area. Look how big the candlesticks are. Huge volume in this area. Okay? Huge amounts of volume within the area. Anytime you see a big candlestick within this area, that means there was massive amounts of volume that occurred, and that volume will continue to occur within this area, right? So you see how volume is just moving within this area. Lots of volume is moving within this area. So that's another way that you could look at the setup from the daily. That was the daily. We saw the daily before, but now this is the weekly. So we see the close of the weekly, and then we can scale in. Okay?
Pues es un cariño ese, ¿no? Tosco. ese que le pagaron el estudio, que la hizo se enamoró de la gringa en otra y ya quedó.
Everybody clear? Press 1 if you are clear.
¿Y para dónde se van a ir?
How many new people signed up for the advance? Press 2. If you're new and signed up for the advance, press 2.
Kevin, you're not new, are you?
I don't think he is.
The advanced is the next advance is next week, week after next, May 10th, guys.
Hasta ponerlo corriendo, ¿verdad?
May
Okay.
10th.
Any questions that anyone has? Look at this. Look at this body work volume. Look at these exhaustions. 180 points, 127, price drop. Done. Easy. Done. Easy sell. And when you have a system to trading, you're not just saying marking up anything, oh, I'm marking up this, I'm marking up that. No, you have an actual system that is allowing you to trade. Okay. Any questions that anyone has? Look at this body weight volume. Look at the exhaustions. You could literally wait for setups like this to happen and just smoke it. Done. Like, why have the trouble of going through a bunch of different, like looking at what's doing here and there? Why have the trouble of doing that when you have a proven system? Hey, look, Wix, done. 118 pips? Oh, really? Thank you. Thank you. I'll take a sell on that. Done. 200 points.
¿Y esa quién es? Oh, la que es diseñadora.
Any other questions, guys? The answer.
Okay, you could continue, Dimitri.
Could you see the forming? Could you see gold forming a triangle pattern? Yeah, anything could happen at this point. I like to have key levels, so I'll say, hey, this is 1790. Like this will be my key levels: 1814, 1797. 1760. Like these would be my key levels here. I'm either gonna buy near these zones or I'm gonna sell at these zones. So I'm keeping an eye out on this specific chart. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? Yes or no? Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. Any questions that anyone has, or does everyone pretty much understand? So you see how price is in that range, like I told you? All right, we're gonna wait for that range to break out. I personally think that price could hit these levels. That's my personal opinion. I think price could go up even higher, but let's see. Okay, let me see some more questions. What's the absolute smallest time frame you use for body wick volume? 50 to 100 pips. That's what I use. But I'm glad that everyone got on this call. Thank you so much for jumping on this call. And I can't wait to see everyone tomorrow so we can learn the new strategy. Well, the strategy that you guys never probably heard of, but we can get some better insights on what to do with that.
And if your question wasn't answered today, we would definitely answer it tomorrow.
Well, I think everyone's question was pretty much answered.
Everyone's question answered, guys? Perfect. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be a good day. Tomorrow and Wednesday are the best days. You're welcome, Pedro.
Yay! Thank you guys.
And guys, just an FYI, for you, those of you who are new, we're offering something called the GMG RTFX indicator. It's $75 a month. It's awesome. After you finish the course, then we'll have schedule a meeting, and some of our members are already signed up. We've had an overwhelming amount of people who want to sign up for it. Okay, and Holem Fan he's here on here now, and he is going to be hosting that meeting. Dimitri, can you unmute Holem for a minute?
Yep, go ahead.
No, you have to unmute him, Dimitri.
Hey, what's up?
So I just wanted you to speak to the new students, without going too much in depth, but just telling them that about the indicator, and that Holem offers classes every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's going to be doing it Mondays, and then Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So he'll show you how the indicator works, and once you finish the 5-day program.
Yep, I also go over how to set it up, how I personally use it, and how to avoid some bad trades with it.
Awesome.
And I think we do have for the new, like, if you're brand new, as in this is the first time you've ever taken the course, I do believe we do offer, I think it's a 1 or 2 week free trial. You'll have to check with compliance on that.
I'm gonna put the Telegram in here right now. Okay, please do not share it with anyone at all. We run a tight ship, and a lot of the students we have so far tonight, 30 students on, a lot of them, hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put the Telegram here in the chat. Okay? As I said, please don't share it with anybody. Everyone in here has been in here for a long time, and everything in here is kept strictly confidential.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the 5-day program Telegram. You'll want to join that. After the course, you have a couple of people that'll come on and help you if you have any questions. And as I said, you get to take the course again, every other week for a limited time, okay? And most of the people that's been here, they've been on here for, a year. Some people have been on for 2 months. Some people have been on for 2 weeks, just as a refresher. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, have a good one.
Have a good one, guys. That's the way the cookie crumbles. I'll see you next time.
What happened?